The ache in your soul, the weight in your chest, that feeling of being adrift, cast out into a sea of endless bills and unfulfilled desires. Do you feel it? That gnawing whisper of doubt that asks, why me? Why this struggle with money? With purpose? With peace? Perhaps you've been told that a spiritual life means sacrificing material comfort, that abundance is somehow unholy. Or maybe you've poured your heart into your faith, yet the financial challenges persist, leaving you bewildered and questioning if you truly are seen, truly heard. We've all been there, standing at the crossroads of hope and despair, wondering if the universe has simply forgotten our address. That tightening in your gut when you check your bank balance, the subtle shame of not being able to provide for those you love, the silent plea for a sign, a breakthrough, anything that might alleviate the crushing pressure. It's in these very moments of profound confusion and emotional turmoil that we yearn for clarity, for healing, for a spiritual awakening that transcends our current reality. You might be feeling lost, broken, even betrayed by circumstances that seem to defy every prayer you've uttered. Your heart yearns for a different story, a path where your needs are not just met, but where abundance flows freely, where you can give without hesitation, and where your life reflects the divine generosity you know deep down is your birthright. This journey from confusion to clarity, from pain to peace, is not just a possibility. It is your divine destiny. Before we dive deeper into this life-changing message, I invite you to take 3 simple, yet profound actions. First, like this video, if these words resonate with your soul. Second, leave a comment below sharing your own experiences with financial struggles or moments of divine provision. Let's build a community of shared wisdom. And third, subscribe to the Book of Wisdom channel so you never miss another message. Designed to ignite your spirit and guide your path, you, my dear one, are not just anyone. You are a chosen one. And for the chosen, the path often looks different. It's a path forged in the fires of experience, a crucible designed to refine your spirit and sharpen your purpose. But what if this divine calling, this profound destiny, brings with it a paradox? What if being chosen means you will, at times, spend money like water? Not out of recklessness or folly, but out of a deeper alignment, a divine mandate to be a conduit, a vessel for the flow of abundance, both in giving and receiving. Consider the biblical narratives, rich with examples of individuals chosen by the divine, whose lives were marked by extraordinary circumstances, often involving the dramatic ebb and flow of resources. Take Abraham, for instance, called to leave his homeland for an unknown destination, Genesis 12:1-3. His journey was one of immense faith, often facing scarcity in the desert, yet ultimately becoming the patriarch of a multitude, blessed with immense wealth, Genesis 13:2. His resources were not hoarded. They were used to sustain his family, his people, and even to offer hospitality to strangers, reflecting a generosity that stemmed from his deep trust in God's provision. His expenditures, even when seemingly vast for his time, were part of a larger divine plan, a spending like water to fulfill a higher purpose. Then there's King Solomon, renowned for his unparalleled wisdom and immense wealth. The Bible states, "The king made silver as common in Jerusalem as stones, and cedars as plentiful as sycamore fig trees in the foothills." 2 Chronicles 1:15. Solomon spent lavishly, building the temple, his own palace, and various cities, all reflective of God's blessing and his role as a divinely appointed king. His expenditures, while grand, were not mere indulgence, but expressions of divine favor, and the establishment of a kingdom that reflected God's glory. He literally spent money like water, transforming the landscape with his generosity and his vision. These aren't tales of reckless abandon, but of a different relationship with resources, where the flow is uninhibited, driven by a spiritual purpose rather than worldly fear. The struggle you face, the feeling of money slipping through your fingers, might not be a curse, but a testament to your true nature. It is a spiritual law that what flows through you flows to you. For the chosen one, this flow is amplified. You might find yourself in situations where you are called to give, to invest, to spend in ways that defy conventional logic, yet are entirely aligned with your higher calling. This isn't about being wasteful. It's about being a channel, a conduit through which divine abundance moves. You are not meant to dam the river, but to ensure its uninhibited flow. This understanding can shift your perspective from one of lack and fear to one of empowered stewardship and divine trust. Imagine Sarah, a woman whose heart resonated deeply with spiritual truths. She poured her life into helping others, volunteering her time at a local shelter, offering a listening ear and a comforting presence. Yet, her own financial life was a constant source of anxiety. Bills piled up, her car was perpetually on the brink of breaking down, and the thought of an unexpected expense sent shivers down her spine. She felt like a fraud. How could she speak of divine abundance when her own well felt perpetually dry? Sarah remembered a time years ago when she had a stable job, a comfortable income. But then, a series of unfortunate events, a sudden layoff, a medical emergency with no insurance, and a betrayal by a trusted friend who drained her savings, left her utterly broken. She found herself at her lowest point, sleeping in her car for a few weeks, the biting cold a constant reminder of her despair. She questioned everything. Where is God in all of this? She'd whisper to the empty night sky, am I truly chosen, or am I just cursed? Her faith, once a roaring fire, had dwindled to a tiny flickering ember. The very thought of money brought on a wave of nausea, a reminder of her powerlessness. She felt lost, unseen, and utterly alone in her struggle. The shame was a heavy cloak she wore everywhere, masking the raw, bleeding wound beneath. This feeling of being adrift, of watching resources dwindle, is a profound human experience, one that can strip away our sense of worth and leave us questioning the very fabric of our being. Sarah wasn't alone in her despair. Globally, millions grapple with financial insecurity, leading to profound mental and emotional distress. According to a 2023 report by the World Bank, an estimated 711 million people live in extreme poverty, surviving on less than $2.15 a day. Even in more developed nations, the struggle is real. A 2024 survey by the American Psychological Association found that 77% of adults reported money as a significant source of stress. These aren't just statistics. They represent countless individual Sarahs grappling with the weight of their circumstances, their faith tested by the harsh realities of life. The chosen ones, in their deepest moments of struggle, often experience a unique kind of pain. It's not just the material lack, but the feeling of divine disconnect. It's the profound internal conflict of believing in a benevolent universe, yet experiencing what feels like abandonment. This internal turmoil can manifest as anxiety, depression, and a deep sense of unworthiness. It's a painful paradox, feeling called to a higher purpose, yet being shackled by earthly limitations. This is the valley of despair, where the chosen ones are often forged, where their trust is tested to its very core. It's in these moments that the seeds of true spiritual awakening are often sown, even amidst the most barren landscapes. In the depths of her despair, curled up in the backseat of her cold car, Sarah found a tattered copy of the Bible someone had left in the shelter's donation box. Her fingers traced the worn pages, landing on Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want." A bitter laugh escaped her lips. Shall not want? I want for everything. But as she continued to read, a single verse pierced through her hardened heart. He restores my soul. Psalm 23:3. It wasn't about the money, not directly. It was about her soul, her spirit, that felt so utterly broken. That night, a tiny flicker ignited within her. It wasn't a miraculous financial windfall. Her circumstances hadn't changed an iota, but something shifted internally. It was a faint whisper, a gentle knowing that amidst the storm, there was still a shepherd. She didn't fully believe it, not yet, but the possibility, however remote, was enough to keep her from completely surrendering to the darkness. She started to pray again, not for $1 million, but for strength, for clarity, for a sign, any sign, that she wasn't utterly alone. Her prayers were hesitant, often punctuated by tears and doubts, yet she persisted. This small spark of faith, though seemingly insignificant, became her anchor. She remembered the story of Elijah and the widow of Zarephath, 1 Kings 17:8-16. The widow, on the brink of starvation, with only a handful of flour and a little oil, was asked by Elijah to make him a small cake first. In an act of profound faith, she obeyed, and her jar of flour and jug of oil did not run dry until the day the Lord sent rain. Sarah clung to this story, not as a guarantee of instant wealth, but as a testament to divine provision in the face of impossible odds. It was a lesson that even the smallest act of faith, even when resources are scarce, can unlock a miraculous flow. She began to see her current struggle not as a punishment, but as a test, a refining fire. This emerging faith fragile yet persistent, started to transform her perspective, offering a glimmer of purpose in the midst of her pain. It was the understanding that even when the outside world seemed devoid of hope, an inner strength was beginning to bloom, rooted in a quiet, unwavering trust in something far greater than herself, the shift in Sarah's perspective born from that tiny spark of faith began to manifest in unexpected ways. One cold morning, while still living in her car, she saw a flyer for a local community garden project. It wasn't a job, and it certainly didn't pay, but something compelled her to attend. There, amidst the rows of budding vegetables, she found more than just a place to volunteer. She found community. She started sharing her story, hesitantly at first, with a woman named Maria, a kind-hearted retired teacher who listened without judgment. Maria, sensing Sarah's genuine spirit, offered her a small room in her spare apartment, just until Sarah could get back on her feet. It was a simple act of kindness, a direct answer to Sarah's whispered prayers, and it felt like a dam breaking. This was her breakthrough, not a sudden influx of cash, but a divinely orchestrated opening, a manifestation of faith in action. It was God's perfect timing, revealing itself through the compassion of another. Sarah began to see that her perseverance and her renewed trust were indeed the keys. She started working odd jobs, saving every penny, but more importantly, she started giving what little she could back to the community garden, sharing her meager earnings to buy seeds for others. It was a radical act of generosity from a place of scarcity, an embodiment of spending money like water even when the well seemed shallow. She understood intuitively that the act of giving, even when it hurt, opened her to receive. Her experience echoes the principle found in Proverbs 11:24. One person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. This isn't just about financial gain. It's about the energetic flow of abundance. By giving, even when she had little, Sarah was affirming her belief in a universe of abundance, not scarcity. She saw that her seemingly impossible situation was being transformed, not by a magic wand, but by the quiet, consistent application of faith and generosity. The emotional realization washed over her. Faith was the key all along, unlocking doors she hadn't even known existed. This transformation, slow and steady, was bringing her closer to her true purpose, to be a conduit of compassion and a living testament to divine provision. The shame began to dissipate, replaced by a quiet confidence and a sense of profound gratitude. Her life was slowly, beautifully, being rewritten. As Sarah emerged from the depths of her struggles, she was a changed woman. The raw edges of her pain had been smoothed, replaced by a profound strength and an unshakable sense of purpose. Her unwavering trust in God, forged in the crucible of hardship, had not only transformed her circumstances, but also her very being. Maria's spare room had become a temporary sanctuary, but Sarah's entrepreneurial spirit, now ignited by her newfound faith, led her to a new path. She started a small business, using her innate compassion and organizational skills to help elderly neighbors with errands and light housekeeping. Word spread quickly about Sarah, the kind helper, and soon, her client list grew. She wasn't just earning money. She was building relationships, offering comfort, and making a tangible difference in people's lives. The financial stability she now experienced wasn't a result of hoarding or fear, but of a generous, flowing spirit. She continued to give back to the community garden, even sponsoring a plot for a family in need. This was her spending money like water, not impulsively, but intentionally, directing her resources to where they could create the most good, mirroring the divine generosity she had experienced. Her life had transformed dramatically. She found financial stability, yes, but more importantly, profound emotional healing and a deeper spiritual connection than she had ever imagined. She was aligned with her true purpose, to serve, to uplift, to be a beacon of hope. Sarah's journey became a living testimony to the words of Philippians 4:19, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus." Her needs were not just met, they were exceeded, allowing her to become a channel for blessings to others. This transformation is not unique to Sarah. Countless individuals, from spiritual leaders to everyday people, have experienced profound shifts by embracing a mindset of abundance and trust. Think of figures like Mother Teresa, who, despite vows of poverty, managed to mobilize vast resources to serve the poorest of the poor, always trusting in divine provision. Her spending of resources, whether through fundraising or direct aid, was a continuous flow that never ran dry. Or consider organizations like Doctors Without Borders, reliant on donations, yet consistently providing life-saving medical care in crisis zones globally, operating on a principle of abundant generosity and unwavering dedication. The invitation for you, the viewer, is to embrace your own journey, no matter how challenging it may seem. Recognize that your struggles are not roadblocks but stepping stones. Your faith, however small it may feel, is a powerful force capable of transforming your reality. You too can experience this profound transformation by holding onto your faith, trusting in the divine flow, and embracing your role as a conduit for good in the world. Your purpose is not just to receive, but to facilitate a greater circulation of blessings. My dear chosen one, remember this: the path you walk, though it may be paved with trials, is ultimately designed for your highest good. The experience of spending money like water, whether through acts of radical generosity, necessary investments in your divine calling, or even through periods of unexpected outflow, is not a curse, but an initiation. It's a profound lesson in trust, in divine circulation, and in your true capacity as a conduit for abundance. No matter the struggle you currently face, be it financial, emotional, or spiritual, your unwavering faith in God will lead to breakthroughs, to an inner peace that transcends understanding, and to the profound discovery of your true purpose. Hold on to your faith with every fiber of your being. Keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear, even when the whispers of doubt try to derail you. Trust that God is with you every single step of the way, guiding your expenditures, orchestrating your provisions, and transforming your scarcity into overflowing abundance. The very essence of your being is designed for flow. When you align with this divine principle, when you truly understand that you are a channel and not a dam, then the resources you need will always be at your disposal. This isn't a promise of reckless spending, but of divinely guided expenditure that always serves a higher purpose. It's about being so deeply connected to Source that you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that whatever you need to give, to invest, to use for good, will be replenished in spades. Now, my friends, it's time to take a powerful step of faith. Are you ready to embrace your role as a chosen one who spends money like water, not out of scarcity, but out of a profound understanding of divine flow? Here's your call to action. Declare your abundance. Right now, in the comments below, declare this truth: I am a chosen one, a conduit of divine abundance, and I embrace the flow of giving and receiving. Make it personal. Make it powerful. Let your words be an affirmation of your deepest truth. Take a practical step of faith. Identify one area in your life where you can practice intentional spending like water. This could be a small act of generosity, giving a little more to a cause you believe in, offering help to someone in need, or investing in a skill that will serve your divine purpose. It's about initiating the flow, however small. As 2 Corinthians 9-7 states, each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Let your giving be an act of joy and faith. Trust the unseen. For the next 7 days, consciously practice trusting God with your finances. Instead of focusing on what you lack, focus on the abundance that is already present and the divine provision that is always available. Notice how your perspective shifts, how anxiety lessens, and how unexpected blessings begin to appear. Remember, no matter the obstacles, your faith will carry you through. God is always at work, even in the most difficult times, orchestrating miracles and opening pathways you cannot yet see. You have the power to overcome, not because of your own limited strength, but because you are divinely empowered. Embrace your truth, step into your abundance, and let your life be a testament to the limitless generosity of the divine. If this message has resonated with your soul, if it has ignited a spark within you, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this truth. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Book of Wisdom channel for more messages that illuminate your path and awaken your spirit. Together, let us walk in the fullness of our divine inheritance.